Quantum shaking maps take flight. Hydrophone hissing light. Periscope spin sees the shore. Mast and board on the water's roar. On the swells they draw their line. Bare feet stamping, beating time. Salt on lips, toes and sand. Spirit dance kills every command. Surf ninja beach boogie on a midnight raid. Oh yeah. Spirit dance burning through the crimson chain of command. Oh, keep that iron fleet drifting far away from our land. Surf ninja beach boogie till they understand. Left foot, right foot, healing foam. Call the storm and send them home. Decks run red, the ghost advance, but the tide swings wide for the spirit dance. Surf ninja beach boogie, shake the breaking waves. Spirit dance rising like a tidal wave. Keep that iron fleet turning back the way it came. Surf ninja beach boogie, remember the name.
Howdy, howdy, it's your old pal, Tiki the Hut. Thanks for joining me again, another Too Late Tonight with Tiki. How's everybody doing? Morning, RK. I see you and bots here pretty early. Nice. Always good to see. Ooh, working on some Shrek and Wolfen. Very nice, very nice, very nice. I'm overall very happy with how the Shrek Wolfen came out for second edition. I like what they did to him. I'm pretty happy. But I haven't fought them yet, so it's easy for me to say. So today what we're looking at doing is probably work on the blue jackets for the blue division, maybe pick up some other stuff. But first, we're going to do a little bit of hobbying, a little bit of, I wouldn't even say kit bashing, this is more trash bashing. So, there's something I want to work on for my 40k jeans that are cold. I know it's only 47 stream, but it's just a piece of train, so I feel like it doesn't violate the rules too much, so we'll go ahead and get this thing going. Alright, so the first thing I will need is a 32mm base. Got it. Easy. Next thing is an emery board, or a file, which I had in my bigger file that I mostly use in my gasoline cars, but I can't find it. Alright, and the last thing I need... Hey, it's Quick and Sean, what's going on, buddy? And the last thing we're going to include is a 1/2 inch 45-degree elbow PVC pipe. Now you're questioning, what is this for? Well, the Colt ambush markers for jeans that are Colt are 32mm bases. So instead of just using, and we all know I get annoyed with, I don't like overly, how do I say this? I don't like things on a tabletop game that kind of break the immersion or detract, you know? So instead of just having like a little colored blip or a thing that says Colt ambush, you know? I'm trying to make Colt ambush markers. And so what I'm going to do is to take these and glue them on right here. As you can see, it's just about a perfect fit, which is pretty cool. And first thing I do is the reason why I have the file out is I gotta file all this English off. You know, it states basically, oh no! Well shit, they won't be ambushing out of that one, will they? Alright, Round 2. Slippery little fuckers. Alright, as you can tell, there's English on there that I'm actually going to have to file off there. So I'm going to have to file this part off. Hey, what's going on, Jenny? Yeah, and that's the other thing, too. This doesn't have to be limited to Konflikt 47. It's not going to look sci-fi at all. It's just literally just going to be a giant, like, duct, right? One of my favorite pieces of terrain is going to a hardware store and buying these. You can get them for like 60 cents or 80 cents a pop now. I think it's gotten a little more expensive. But get 2 of the 90-degree ones. And then just get like a bag of these, like, what did I say, 32? Yeah, 32 millimeter. Yeah, 32 millimeter bases. Get 2 90 ones. And you can kind of connect them like this, and it makes like a little kind of like oil pipeline. You can also get like different ones. You can actually like build some really cool oil pipelines. It's a really cool way to kind of get some good terrain in. Yeah, they're in the pipes. They're in the goddamn pipes. That's exactly what it is. So we're just going to take our emery board. If you're susceptible to particles, you know, wear a mask. Obviously, like PPE shit. As you can tell, stuff actually comes off pretty easy. Let's see, we're making a little bit of progress here. And then once these are done, what I'm going to do is, you know, I'm going to glue them onto the base. And then we're going to hit the whole thing. We're going to prime it. And then we'll hit the actual pipe and lead belcher. And then we're going to hit what base is showing in the Astro Granite. And then we'll hit the whole thing with a nice little amount of Nolan oil. And that'll be a cold ambush marker. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Alright, so here's our progress a little more. As you can tell, I'm actually getting that that writing off. I think I got just a little bit left. But yeah, super easy, fast way to make either terrain or just to make, you know, for me, cold ambush markers. I'm just dropping everything today. But as you can tell, it's a fast, easy way to do cold ambush markers. I'm going to make 8 of them like that. There's an argument to say like a 90-degree pipe would be better, because realistically, that way it can vent air, but that way water wouldn't drop into it. But that hangs over a lot. I feel like it would interfere with the game, so I feel like the 45-degree one is perfect. You don't want a straight vertical one, because it just looks like some Mario shit. You might as well pipe the paint screen. So... nice. Well, I hope you don't have to wait too much longer for the rules, bots. But I think bringing the remains as axe is generally probably a pretty smart idea. Hey, what's going on, damn Legion? All right, let me get my brush. We did a little bit of trash bashing, which is kind of cool. Showed you guys my idea for how I'm going to do my cold ambush markers. And now, let's slide into... let's start painting some jackets. We're just using contrast ultramarine blue. All right. Get this guy's coat going. Let's see what else we can do. Ooh, there is something I was excited to talk about. I actually took a picture to remind myself. I had a feeling my day at work was going to be rough, and it was. It was a long day. So I'm a little tireder than usual, but I took a picture because I found something. Actually, me and my wife found something that's kind of Konflikt 47 related, and we're excited. Getting a beach French house scenes. So I have actually this stuff. If you've ever used this for your beaches, this the AK beach sand. It's actually pretty nice. My Konflikt 47 IJN guys have beach bases. It's a lot of work to do them, but I like the way they turn out. Got going on space zombies at Saturn's moon. I'm trying to catch up on the chat, sorry. Now it goes on a little dark, but I think it comes out kind of the right color. I think we do about 2 coats of this. Yeah, these guys are definitely not going to be blending into any kind of tabletop anytime soon. Red berets, blue coats, yeah. Very Spanish. These guys will stand out. See what we got going on here. Trying to pick out his coat. Alright. Oh yeah, I think these guys are ended up looking pretty cool. Bonsai, what's going on, Tom? How you doing? We were just doing a load of painting. We're painting these guys, painting their coats. So we're getting to the blue. Doing a little ultramarine blue. What's everybody else working on? I know RK is working on some Shrek Wolfen. What are you guys working on? We'll see how many of you guys are at work, hanging out. Alright, we're getting there. Very nice. Trying to breathe too deeply. Putting out your Romanian bolt action army. And then work took you away from your models, Jenny? How rude. Do they not know the sweet, sweet siren call that is unpainted models? How dare they? Ooh, shitty resin robots. Oh no. I was like those metal, the metal Alfreds. They're absolutely the worst. Let me put up a poll real quick. Alright, there we go. There's our poll for today. Which do you think is stronger? Which do you prefer to put on your officers and why? Do you like to lean into guts? Get that economy of force going, you know? Do you like luck? Absolutely just dicking with people's super powerful rolls? Or do you like to lean into rift mastering? Alright, we're getting some color on them. Alright. Grab another model. Let's get some blue going. Alright, let's see how the polls do. Ooh, look at all these people voting. No love for the luck. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I don't think there's an Imperial Japanese unit or an Empire of Japan unit that can take Rift Mastery at all. So I usually rely on Guts. Ooh, there you go. No, someone else just voted Guts. There we go. Alright, let's get back to painting. Alright, I have Fire Skunk Tree. I believe there's a message there. Yes. I don't know about distance. From what I understand, I can check the rulebook, so from what I understand, luck is you can re-roll any. You can basically make any dice be re-rolled. Whereas guts is you can re-roll that unit's die. I want to say. Oh, first linebacker, nice man. Those are great units. The weapons loadout and that 10 armor in the front is an absolutely dynamic combination. They are not easy to bring down. Enjoy painting it up, man. I think you're misinterpreting luck. It says, okay, and that's why I said, I think. I didn't have the rules in front of me, but I will take a look. Let me finish this guy. I'll take a look at what luck says. I personally use a lot more guts tokens. I like to manage my economy of force. Especially with using so much ambush as the Empire of Japan. It's kind of handy to pop it Put that dye back in the bag. Alright. Still picking out his uniform here. I'll make sure I don't get his leather web gear here. We'll go back and hit that with the absolute favorite snakebite leather. No guts, no glory. Exactly. There you go. Getting it. Like I said, I've never actually used Rift Mastery. It might be RK, and that's what, because I know that's how we played it at the Clash at the Caribbean, so that's why I'm going to go back and look it up. I think this exact question came up on the second day on the cruise ship, so that's why I'm like, I think I remember this. Alright. Wet this brush a little bit. These guys will have blue coats in no time. Alright, there's that guy done. Let me take a look at the rulebook and see what it says. Where in the game does it ever say that you roll your opponent's dice? If you didn't roll to begin with, how can you re-roll it? Okay, well, let me take a look. Alright. Let me dig into the rulebook. I really wish they'd put it on Kindle like they do all their other books. It's kind of annoying that it's not. But it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Alright, there it is. Alright, cool. Alright, give me a second here, guys. I'm doing a book things. Alright. Let's look up luck and read this verbatim. Alright, page Niner. Let's see what we got here. Keep it scrolling, keep it scrolling. Alright, here we go. Alright, that's guts. Ah, here is luck. Alright, verbatim. In a world war, luck is what keeps people alive, whether it's simply gaining a fortunate outcome or evading a brush with death. Luck always wins in the end. and it looks like you have two options. Expending a point of luck allows a die to be re-rolled. Each point of luck re-rolls one die. The same die can be potentially re-rolled multiple times this way, but it'll cost 1 point of luck each attempt. The only time in which a re-roll can ever be re-rolled. Note that luck can be applied to... here it is. Here's the line you're looking for, Screw Hunter Sean. Note that luck can be applied to influence any kind of dice roll. Shooting, cover saves, or reserve rolls. Morale checks. And the hero doesn't have to be the one making the roll. Their sheer presence in the battlefield is somehow enough to tip the odds. If a hero model is to be removed, the second ability to use luck. If a hero model is to be removed as a casualty and has any luck points instead, experience their miraculous or villainous last second reprieve. Deduct 1 point of luck from the hero and leave it in play. If a hero has both guts and luck remaining, the player can choose in which order he would use his abilities. So it seems, yeah. Note that the luck can be applied to influence any kind of die roll. That means he says yes, but if it's my die and the rule says allow, I decline. So I think maybe there'll be an FAQ on that. The way I would run that at my events is that if you're burning the luck point, you can get a dice to reroll even if it's your adversaries. I can see why you don't like that. That makes sense. It is very interestingly worded where it says allow, but it's saying you're allowed to do this or do that. So I can see the ambiguous in the way things are phrased, but I think that's the strength of luck versus guts by forcing rerolls. Yeah, like I said, because that seemed vaguely familiar, so I think we read that on the cruise, and I think between myself and the other 4 people in attendance, we all talked about it, we thought about it. I think RK was there, we're like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, we ran with it then. But the book had just came out, so that was the ruling we made then. So I think this is like one of those classic things like you used to see on Daka where it's like, you make the call. And I think it works really well with, hold on, you're denying English. You cannot reroll something you never rolled. Okay, let me stop and take a look at this. So I approach this by saying, you can make the ruling your way, but instead you're trying to make me see it your way. So you're kind of forcing that thing that you don't like, but let me go ahead and take a look at it. You're denying English. You cannot reroll something you never rolled to begin with. It's not vague, it's grammar. Not necessarily. Expending a point of luck allows a die. It doesn't say your die. It doesn't say my die. It doesn't say green die. It doesn't say black die. It says a die. It allows a die to be rerolled. That's it. It's as simple as that. And then there's a clarifying statement saying, note that luck can be applied to influence any kind of die roll. Any kind. So it says a die and any kind. Now, if you want to keep it your home roll between you and your opponent, it's like, hey, you can't make someone else do a reroll, that's fine. Yeah. So if you want to keep it to where, like, hey, you can't force someone to reroll, I get that. That makes sense. Totally cool. That would be your interpretation of it. But rules as written, I say it's vague. And the way I'd run it at my events is like, yeah, you can force it's a die to be re-rolled, any die. But that's just my Texas public school education, so I don't know. But like I said, in a very polite way earlier, is that's very similar to what you see on the Daka pages. That's what made Daka such a cool website, is it had like the you make the call, But I think that's what makes luck so unique. Alright, let me get back to painting some more jackets. Alright. So we got here. Who needs one? There we go. Rush, where'd you go? There you are. There we go. Got my screen back. That's good thing. Are you doing anything fancy with your Shrek Wolf in RK? Are you doing like any kind of cool theming? Like, are they winterized, tropical? That's a good point. That's a good point. Let me check the FAQ. Let me see if it's in the FAQ. I don't think I've checked the FAQ in a hot minute. Excellent point, Jenny. Konflikt 47. Frequently asked questions. Fun. Oh, that is cool. That is cool, RK. I like it. All right. This FAQ was last. I have the version 1 FAQ from December 2025. I'm looking for luck. Looking for luck in all the wrong places. Looking for luck. Ooh, okay, here's the first mention of luck that I see. If a model with guts or luck suffers multiple counts of damage. Okay, that's for the damage thing. That's not for... Ah! Here's another mention of luck. Can a hero use a luck point to reroll a dice if it's not yet deployed on the table, i.e. if they're in reserve? That's a good question. The use of the luck ability and the model expending the luck point must be on the battlefield. It cannot use the ability from reserve. That's a good one. That's cool. So that means they can't do it from reserve and they can't influence their own roll coming on. That's kind of cool. Alright. High penetration weapons, long range, hyper velocity, shape charge, tough fighters, deadly X, guts. Nope. Nope, nothing on luck yet. That might be a good question. Somebody should hit up the FAQ and be like, hey, clarify this because there's some people who are reading it in a certain way. That would be a good FAQ question. Curiouser and curiouser. Thanks for the idea, Jenny. I appreciate you putting in there about checking the FAQ. All right. All right. Okay, there we go. That's in my my chat gets stuck. I thought I was to refresh it. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to like download it electronically. I still wish it was my Kindle to be a little easier to find and it has like a better search feature, but I'm glad I have it electronically on my phone. Oh, Matthew, I've been there. You come up with a great scheme and you're like a couple models in and you look at all your gray ones and you're like, shit. Yeah, I think you're right, Ramos. I think I could do that. You are not wrong. It's also just me being lazy, which is a trademark issue, if you've not noticed my painting style. The right words, yep. But no, Jen, I know what you're talking about. I saw that video from Wargame Atlantic talking about the Marcher ones. And I think they nailed they nailed the nail right on the head. That's weird to say. Particularly that command sprue. I think the command sprue is going to sell well because there's people like me who are absolutely terrible at freehanding, you know? And so there's an American flag where all you got to do is just kind of pick out the raised parts and you're good to go. So that's pretty cool. And there's a lot of cool variations there in that command box. I'm just like I commented on the video too. I'm not gonna be surprised to see a lot of those in some American Conflict 47 armies. Yeah, I get worried sometimes with my like creativity is. My creativity outpaces my painting talent or my will to paint. Because I probably could paint better if I really focused and paid attention to the fundamentals and tried. And used like color theory correctly. So I've been there, Matthew. I'm like, how good do I want these to look? Creativity outstrip productivity. That sweet, sweet sound of a paint pot popping always sounds better than the sweet sound or the not so sweet sound of a contrast paint pot spilling. I think I'm always seeing Cosmic say he's dropping his paint pots all the time or he's spilling his contrast paints all the time. That's a heartbreak. It was a heartbreak for multiple reasons, especially the contrast, because that shit gets everywhere. And it stains like a mother. But it's also expensive, so you're like, oh, I now have an expensive mess. Yeah, no, I always will pay when I do. It's the most expensive one. Yeah, it's funny. You never spill an empty pot. You know, it's always like a brand new one. You're like, oh. All right, getting the arms of the coat in. The best thing about this doing like one color a day kind of thing is that as you go along, you know, the amount you have to paint gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It always feels good. Yep, Jenny, I've been there. And it's always like that one bit, like that one official bit on the sprue, and you only get one, you know, and it's like the perfect bit for your model. And you take every right precaution, you know, you do it like over a box, you clip it, you have your hands underneath, and somehow it still flies off in some ungodly known vector. You can hear it bounce off a wall somewhere, and you're like, no! That happens so much. My latest trick when that happens, because I always carry blues painter tape over here by my hobby desk. I use it for a lot of stuff. So what I do when that happens, Jenny, is I'll take some of this tape and just kind of like double tape it like around my hands and just like kind of pat the area where it fell. And then eventually you'll pick it up. That helps. I have found some bits that I thought I would never find that way. So let's Yep, no, that is the moment a lot of people step away from Crusade. Like I've learned, like I'll leave Citadel pot paints open while I paint, but never their contrast paints. Those I always seal. I mean, like I'll dip my brush in there, I'll get contrast paint on it, then I'll immediately close it. You're just tempting fate at that point. Like paint discipline, you know? Ooh, interesting, RK. Elaborate. We do like talking about Konflikt 47 lore, by all means. If you want, of course. Alright. We're getting there. It's already four jackets done. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I understand the whole treading carefully thing. Yeah, so I understand it's in the context of the Konflikt 47 lore, so I won't be offended. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, but yeah, I see what you're saying. That's interesting. And actually, to go upon that more, RK, particularly around that time period, you had a lot of, especially during like the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression. You had a lot of, like, you know, those, like, great tent revival, snake handling, you know, miracle healing, all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. I never made that connection before. Oh, that's really, really neat. That's a cool connection, RK. I actually never made that. Interesting. Alright. Let's work on this guy. Interesting point. I'm excited to see where the lore goes. So I'm really excited to get my paws on a Fortress Europa book. I'll be doing a lot of good reading. Army Painter Tyrian Navy mixed with a deep ocean blue. Ooh, an ocean abyss color. Ooh, that does sound cool. My hardest problem with mixing paints is I can never like get the ratio right, so I can never like perfectly recreate the paint that I'm going for. I'm like, no. You also find a lot of cool stuff at the Dollar Tree or like a dollar store that you can trash or kit bash into terrain too. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Like one of the classic ones, I'm sure you guys have all seen this. This is not original to me. I did not come up with this. But buy like, if you can, like yard sales, stuff like that. Find really cheap old like super soakers, you know, or like little squirt guns. And then when you break those in half, like usually they're like overly plastic molded to kind of look like machines or a bunch of other kind of stuff. They make really cool like industrial terrain. So if you want like a huge green vault laboratory, you know, just like kind of find a broken super soaker and just absolutely cut the thing apart. Midwinter Minis. I think I remember the video. Yeah, he probably did do a video. I've seen a lot of people talk about it, do videos. I think I got the idea from an old like White Dwarf way back in the day. You can tell I'm always quick to make sure to say when things aren't my idea. I never want to take credit for someone else's creativity. Reading old White Dwarfs is really cool to get like hobby ideas though. I will say that. I used to watch the video until the whole thing about Voltex. Yeah, the infamous Voltex video. I remember berries. That was interesting. I mean, here I am sitting at a lofty. Let me take a look. What's it up to? 700? Yeah, 700 subscribers. So what do I know? But that was an interesting take. It's all right. I still like to hold to the adage. I like to hold to the adage that anyone can play tabletop wargaming, but tabletop wargaming isn't for everyone. And when I say that, I don't mean it in like a mean gatekeeping way. I mean it in like the community that is face-to-face tabletop wargaming isn't necessarily for everyone. I think anyone can play a tabletop wargame. Anybody should be able to walk in and play a game of Warhammer if they want, you know? There's really no barrier to entry other than the models and stuff like that. You can always borrow an army. It's not a big deal. But just understand that Warhammer 40k is what Warhammer 40k is. That may not be the game for you. And that's perfectly fine. There may be another game you like. So a good example, I know a lot of people who like bolt action. Some people don't like bolt action. They don't like the limitations, you know? Like, hey, you gotta take this platoon, you gotta take this unit. Some people don't like that, totally understandable. Some people don't like the realism to it. You know, it's one thing to play sci-fi fantasy stuff, but when you start playing actual units, that gets a little too real for some people. I can appreciate that. So, and if you've ever been stuck like on a family board game night, you know, and like you lost the vote, so you're stuck playing a board game that you absolutely don't enjoy, it's terrible. So it's always my goal never to force anyone to play like by my rules or play, or I say that, but I'll elaborate on that. Never to play a game that they don't want to play, like kind of force them like a captive audience, like some kind of North Korean tabletop club kind of thing. No. Now when I host an event, that's one of the benefits. When you host an event, you generally get to put out your rules pack, and you get to say ahead of time, like, hey, these are the rules we'll be playing by. It's a little different because it's still voluntary. It's like, hey, would you like to come to my event, you know? Here's the rules pack. So it's like, no, I don't like the way these rules are. I don't want to play. Well, that totally makes sense. No worries. So, that's why I always say anyone can play tabletop war games, but tabletop wargaming is for everyone. There's also the thing where a lot of people are really good at tabletop wargaming as far as getting the models, building the models, painting the models, doing the math hammer in their head, understanding that, hey, this dice roll was below the statistics or above the statistics. Hey, when I'm rolling this dice, I should be getting about 3 hits. Some people are really good at that, but then they're absolutely terrible sociably. I think we've all played people like that. You know, some people are just very awkward around crowds, things like that nature. And now there's Tabletop Simulator, which is cool. Tabletop Simulator. It's for some people, it's not for me. I like the social aspect. I like being able to chat with people, crack jokes, you know. I really enjoy the interpersonal exchange of tabletop wargaming. It's fun. It's fun to get out of my house, go to a third location, you know, play with my toy soldiers that I built and painted, see someone else's toy soldiers, watch their toy soldiers beat the shit out of my toy soldiers. This is good times, for me personally. Some people aren't that comfortable around crowds or other people, which again, totally understandable. So, that's why I always kind of hold to the adage. And it even goes back to Midwinter's thing. He doesn't like bolt action. I listened to his reason. The ad is what threw me. I was like, I see your reason, but putting in that ad, this is either the best troll ever or it's confusing. To put it in the best possible light, it was a very confusing video, but it's not my channel. And you know, you do you, boo. That's fine. But some people like some games, some people don't like other games. And I think, in my opinion, I think it's important to, if you're gonna play a game, you can always play it your own way at your own house with your own friends. But most games have a culture, and I think it's cool to enjoy the culture. You don't have to be a sheep. You don't have to, you know, confirm or like cohere to it. You can also kind of do your own path. That's also fine. But I think it's important to respect the culture of the game you join. Like if I wanted to show up to my local store and play some Masquerade, Vampire Masquerade, I wouldn't show up like it's a game of D&D or show up like it's a game of I'm trying to think of another system here. Oh, I wouldn't show up like it's Gaslands, right? And just be like super casual. I'd be like, no, these people are all dressed up. They are clearly into this, so let me respect it and see if it's for me, you know. All right, enough of me shitting and chatting. Let me catch up with the the chat here. Yeah, exactly. Anyone can play, but it might not be for you. Totally fine, yeah. Yep, Ginny, that makes total sense. Yep, family history, I get it. So bonsai everyone, including Tiki. Bonsai Commander, how you doing? Sorry guys, just catching up on the chat here. And yeah, so that was the other thing, bots. I saw his thing about that. It's like, hey, my grandfather fought in World War II, you know. So that's gonna hit everybody differently, you know. A lot of people, it was a world war, you know, so a lot of people have family members who fought or were casualties during World War II, be they civilians or military. Hey, what's going on, Matt Larkin? There's also some of us who are veterans ourselves. You know, we're not saying, oh, my dad did this, or my brother did this, or my grandfather did this, or my great-great-grandfather, or my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Some of us ourselves are actual veterans. And I always bring up this point, you know, and again, it's different for everybody. Some people take that personally, I get it. Me, I don't. I could show up and play some, what is that? Some Flame of War Team Yankee, right? And someone could show up with like a full Taliban force of like Toyota Hiluxes with Dushkas on the back and like guys running around with stingers. I'd be like, that's awesome. And I absolutely fought those guys in Afghanistan, so it's all relative. Certain people think things a certain way. Some people are okay with the real life connotations, and some people, even if it affected their grandfather, it's still too soon for them. So everybody's different. But I think that's also the point. Everybody's different. Just because it's too soon for somebody else. No worries, bots. I appreciate it, though. But yeah, no worries. Just because it's too soon for some people, it's weird making a video kind of saying that in the big thing. Like saying like, oh, this game is too reminiscent, or it's too realistic, or it glorifies this faction too much. I try and do it myself. Like when I make videos or when I stream. You always have to kind of separate your own personal bias and your personal view on things. So I understand why someone would feel that way, but maybe other people don't, you know? To some people, it's been long enough, it's been enough years, you know? But I think that's why 140K does so well. It's a comfortable fantasy system. Nothing there is real. It's all fantasy. It's all made up. It may not seem that way when you go on Reddit, but it is. Oh man, I totally didn't even paint that guy's backpack. I had to get his backpack. Or his jetpack. Did you slander me in my vet status? No, man, Larkin, I didn't. World of Warships, nice. A whole Italian starter army, that's awesome, Commander HHL. Let me take a look at what Rhombus said. My biggest problem with bolt action is the history constricting the matchups and themes. It's the same thing that Saturn in Middle Earth. So that's also a local thing. In our local group, what we do is we just say it's alternate history. Every now and then we'll do something like we'll try and do a realistic recreation, but we generally shy away from that. We always stick to kind of alternate history. That way it allows you to kind of do more interesting stuff. But it's all about your local group, what you guys want to do. Some people really enjoy actual historical tabletop reenactments, which is totally cool. Bulldog should have blue engagements. They absolutely could. Alright, I'm going to leave you out because I got to paint your jetpack. I missed your jetpack. It's a personal thing for me. I'm the one who wants the historical... Yeah, no, I get it. No, I see what you're saying, because I can say sometimes you show up with like a Imperial Japanese army and then people have like Tiger 2s. You're like, what the fuck am I going to do against a Tiger 2? Like, realistically, I got Yoshi and Yoshi Jr. over there with some spicy bamboo poles, but like, what am I really going to do against a Tiger 2? Yeah, I can cater to others. That's why I'm gonna when I finally do my resistance army, I'm gonna try and do them as like neutrally painted as possible, so they can be like any kind of resistance. You know, they can be, you know, Finnish or Soviet or German or, you know, whatever. It was, yeah. He remembers it's Mashi, 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 and Mashi, Mashi, Mashi. That's correct. Yeah, you're right. That was their names. Yep, my 3 lunch mines, guys. Yeah, they can no longer hold objectives now. So they're still cool, but that whole infiltrate ability isn't as strong as it used to be, RK. RK absolutely obliterated one time. We were fighting night fighting rules, and he snuck in a little, some kind of like SOS, or what is that? I don't know, some kind of British commando team. He ran out there with like submachine gun, just absolutely murdered them. Completely unwarranted. Wildly unnecessarily aggressive. He was doing nothing wrong, just standing guard with his bamboo pole. And then you felt the need to run up and machine gun him, or submachine gun him, technically. Any plans for the big 100 episode? I would say like maybe live stream playing a game, but I can't get anyone to play any games with me. I keep trying to reach out to like fellow YouTubers to see if they want to play like Dark Tide or Helldivers or Ready or Not, but I don't know. I can't get anybody else who does YouTube to play with me, so not sure. They were just regular plucky lads. I think you had Vengeance on them though, right? Is that what you had? Yeah, plucky, I'll say. But no, Nathan, not really. Not any big plans. Just keep. I don't know why I number them. I just kind of do. I just kind of keep track. Have you ever tried Quar before? No, but I've seen a lot of their models, and I like a lot of their models from. It's like as someone who kit bashes more than I paint, I really wanted to pick up some of their like tanks and kit bash them really bad. But no, I haven't played it. I hear good things about it, though. Yeah, I have. Now that I've fished anonymous tips. Now that I'm going into 11th edition as Genestealer Colt, I think I am hobbied out. I'm going to maintain Konflikt 47, Bolt Action, and some Warhammer 40k, and my beloved Gaslands. I think that's it for me for a little while. Oh yeah, the little tanks look awesome, man. Konflikt 47 tournament, Matthew, that's so exciting. I'm really excited for you guys. You'll have to let me know how it goes, man. Konflikt 47 tournament, man. That's so cool. Every time I hear that, it blows my mind. Like, I don't know. I remember when I first got interested in it, everyone told me it was a dead game, you know, years and years and years and years ago. I originally started just like kind of, when I read about Paragons, I wanted to make, like, you know, the DC Bombshell comics, I wanted to make like characters kind of like that, so I was messing around with like Hero Forge or something like that. And I just got the rulebooks and just kept reading the rulebooks. I could never imagine Konflikt 47 would be as popular as it is now that it gets tournaments. That's so exciting. Storm the Desert. Ooh, it's gonna be cool, man. Maybe it'll be a big like Egyptian theme thing, you know? Maybe you'll have to like go into there and find like the lost mummy, and it has some kind of like powers. That'll be cool. And you can make all the mummy jokes, you know, you may have all the horses, but you're on the wrong side of the river. Always a classic. Damn, Jenny, you are busy. I try not to get too busy with my hobbies. A lot of times I have to like purposely cut out stuff because I'll get too busy and I'll start getting like a little stressed. So I have my streams a lot shorter than they used to be. I only stream for like 2 hours, so I have a shorter stream. Alright, so I have that guy painted. We're in our second hour. Let me find the link to a video and I want to show you guys this. Alright, there we go. Sorry I was gone for so long. I wanted to find that. So it's this really cool game. I was just flipping through. I was on the Xbox just killing time. Had the missus with me. And I was flipping through and she's like, hey, what's that? That looks cool. So we flipped up. It's called Sumerian 6. So this game looks like it plays very similar like the old Commando games. There's a lot of games coming out with the same, almost like the Octon Cthulhu video game as well. You know, you have a small squad, move around, you just start attacks. There's another game called like the Lamplighter Guild or something like that. It seems very similar to this as well. But this game seems very Konflikt 47-y. This Sumerian 6. Feel free to watch the trailer. It's pretty cool. You can even play as the bear, Wurjak or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's not Polish. I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is very Konflikt 47-y. That's pretty cool. So I saw that. I think it's been out for a little while now, or I think like maybe early access, but I think it just released, like officially released. So if you guys are like me and you like again, not a sponsor or anything like that, but if you like turn-based games, like right now I'm playing the shit out of Rogue Trader. If you like turn-based games, this may be a good one. But yeah, watch that trailer. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, going back up to Rames's question. Tiki, do you prefer the old lore? Yes, absolutely. That being said, I have not read Fortress Europa yet, so there wasn't a lot of lore in the rulebook they came out with. That's fine. That's their choice. No worries. But let me read their book they actually put out on the side. But so far, yes, I prefer the older lore. I feel the new lore, it's not bad. It's a different direction. I feel it's a lot more. How do I say this? I don't think I want to say the word fantastical, because I feel like the tone of that is off. It's a lot more stylized. I think that's the term I want to stick with. More, yeah, it's more stylized, a little bit more fantasy. Even the supernatural part, it's just more over the top. Where the original Konflikt 47 lore was, it was still crazy, right? It was still out there, voodoo, weird sci-fi, weird war stuff, but it was very much more bolt action plus. It was bolt action plus some weird shit. You get Konflikt 47. And a lot of the details they put in the old Konflikt 47 lore, when you read all the books, somebody really knew what they were talking about. They really thought about what alternate war would look like. With Turkey turning towards the Axis because they gave them the Rift Tech, and what that did to the Soviets, how it trapped them down in Persia or modern day Iran, and cut off some of the oil and cut off their access to the Black Sea, and how the Imperial Japanese leaned more towards submarines to do naval warfare to trap Americans on the island and make them fight the troops, and then also fight the zombies afterwards. Like a very, very well done, well thought out, clever writing, making good use of the Rift Tech stuff, but here's the difference: not using the Rift Tech as a crutch either. There were no super named characters. I mean, that I read of. I mean, there were some stories, there was like some smaller stories, but in the overarching lore, it was just the generals. There were no Mary Sues, Gary Stews. Yes, you had Colonel Slammers and stuff like that, but I felt like it was a little bit more grounded, if that makes sense. But again, that we talked about this last stream. It's all about your preference. Like when I read Warhammer 40k novels, I like a more grounded military sci-fi. That's why I read a lot of Guard novels. Versus some people don't like that. They want more of the fantastical, which is fine, so they'll read, Space Marine books, or the Horus Heresies, or Eldar books, or, Necron books. Totally understandable. But to answer your question, long story short, I so far enjoy the older lore. It's a little bit more grounded for me. Yeah, I hope your book gets there Monday, man. I'm excited for you. I always try never to pre-order my books, unless there's like some really cool mini I absolutely need. But I'm always trying to pick them up from stores. It's not like, oh, look at me. No, not with that at all. Yeah, no, it's a great game. And there's one thing. I enjoy the older lore? Yes. Do I enjoy the older sculpts? Yes. But do I enjoy the ability to but drive to my local store and actually get a Konflikt 47 game? Yes. That is insane. I think that's one of the best things. That blows my mind. I still have my preferences, but I'm not going to lie. It is extremely awesome to be able to just show up and be able to play Konflikt 47. Again, 3, 4, 5 years ago, not even possible. You'd have like 1 or 2 players in your state. So, but they're clearly doing something right. It's popular, which is cool. Yeah, Mike, I saw your infantry. They look great, man. The one thing I'm hoping is in the book, I'm hoping we get some more, and again, this is my preference, my own bias here. I always try and call it out when I have it, or when I notice it. But I'm hoping in Fortress Europa, with the name Fortress Europa, I hope we get some really cool new terrain and some new terrain rules. That would be cool, I would love some cool terrain rules. But we shall see. It is still very young in the edition, you know. I think Warlord Games is probably very happy with how well Konflikt 47 is doing, and I know they invested a lot. They invested a lot of time and money, so so far it seems like a very happy story. Good for them. But the problem is, you know, is it going to get too big? Nothing against the store, and again, they know more about the business of miniatures than I do. But then you run into the thing where, like, the whole they had to recall the Soviet box and all this and that, and I don't know. Anytime I think I disagree or don't like the way they're taking their direction, I remind them it's not my game, it's theirs. But more importantly, how many more people have gotten to discover Konflikt 47? How many more people have gotten to play Konflikt 47? I think that's way better than any kind of like purity test of, oh, this used to be the lore and the models used to look like this, and actually, you know, I'm just happy that, again, I can say the word Konflikt 47 and people know what I'm talking about. That shit's awesome. That is a it's often forgotten by me, myself, how cool that is. That's something I always try to remind myself to kind of keep me in check. Like, I felt like if I made a shirt that actually said Konflikt 47 and I wore it, like, maybe not around in public, but wore it to like a game shop, people would know what it was, you know? Oh, see, okay. I see what you're saying, Arcade. That's the only kind of rules they have. I'm excited. I just finished 500 points built of Jeans that are cold, so I think my next day off I'm gonna hang out in my garage, take 500 points of my orcs, and do a little skirmish, a little force on force against 500 points of my Jeans that are cold. See how I like them. Then start painting them up. I was waiting on my my can of black primer to come in. Here we go. Blue coat. Yeah. So even the shirts I made, I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of not putting iconography on the shirts that I make. Like, they'll have obviously my Tiki mask guy, but like, I made themed shirts for each faction. And they also had like funny shit on the back, but I didn't put any like flags on it because a good example is there's fans of Konflikt 47 all over the world, and what's cool in your area may not be cool somewhere else, you know? So. Yes, Larkin, I am working on them. It is one of the many products in the development pool. Currently, what I'm working on, and RK, if you're still in the chat, buddy, I'm still working on the first thing I want to put out once I comfortable with DaVinci Resolve is I want to put out my video for Clash of the Caribbean. So I'm still compiling all the pictures, editing out the faces and all that kind of stuff, and writing the scripts. But yeah, I do plan on doing new shirts. Nice. Yeah, if you have any other picture, I think you've already sent me a lot of your pictures, but if you have any other pictures, feel free to send them to me. Compiling all the stuff up for my video for the Clash of the Caribbean. And I decided I'm going to blur everybody's face. Since I'm blurring mine, I'm just going to blur everybody's, so... Alright. Let's go paint some more coats. Alright, take it easy, Mike. Thanks for sharing your picture with me, man. I really liked it. Your models look great, man. I'm glad you were able to knock this out. Sleep well, brother. Enjoy your dreams of big buff ladies. Finally done 5 spearmen. Yep, too complicated. Yeah, complicated things will slow you down, man. I'm gonna want to run Bobby Melvin first. Either you actually send me an invite for Helmers to it, either those 2 soldiers. God, the bottle will hit their target. Buddy, I should be available. Tell you what, with all these witnesses, what do we have? 8 people currently here? Well, no, you're one of them, so fine. 7 people. We have 7 witnesses. I will play you some Helldivers on Monday. Monday, me and you are diving. Put it on your super calendar. Y'all are all my witness. Straight up invite sent. Scheduling and everything. Never complain again. Well, I'm actually excited. I do love these Helldivers. I am working on my Stoker. Hey man, fish gotta swim, birds gotta eat. All right, you know how it is. Well, no, because I got another buddy who just bought all the stuff for Ready or Not, and he wants someone to play with too. I was like, hell yeah, I'll play Ready or Not with you too. I love me some Ready or Not. I see nothing called Tiki. Nothing here, I didn't see anything. Oh, you bastards. Oh, hell yeah, Matthew. I want to take a look at these. I want to take a look at these gorgeous yet overcomplicated paint scheme. Let's see what we got. Oh, no. They look so good, though. Oh, man. And that seashell that Conky's blowing into. Oh. They look good. They look really, really good. It's a shame that's too complicated. It's hard to work on models you know are complicated. This is why I think a lot of Chaos players, and I don't know the meta, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Right? I can just be running my mouth off and be dumb. But this is why I feel like I never see like Hell Chickens anymore anywhere, you know? Because like painting all the fucking metal panels on that thing is probably a pain in the ass. I'm sure the rules probably aren't as good as they used to be, but brush off and grab the last guy and do his coat. Look at that. Look at Jenny's comment. I didn't make a single joke. Look at me. Look what a distinguished gentleman I am. Look how I held back. Little Archer quote. Hey, Cosmic, the man. Oh, I gotta send you a picture. I had someone come in, Cosmic. You're gonna get a kick out of it. I'm definitely gonna wear it to Adepticon. I'll take a picture and send it to you. It is epically awesome. I'm finishing up these blue coats on these guys, and then I'm gonna grab the backpack or the jetpack that I missed, and that'll probably be it. We've been hanging out, chitting and chatting. We had a discussion about the luck dice for Konflikt 47. We read it verbatim. I think different people feel differently about it, you know, and what it means. Always good to talk to your opponent in home roll. What else have we talked about? Talked about a game, Sumerian 6, that came out. It looks very Konflikt 47-y. And that's really it. We've just been painting and chilling. Alright, we were getting there. Slowly but surely. So Cosmic, I know you're in MG streams quite a bit. Whatever happened to the lighter core? Was that for Horus Heresy? Is he still doing that, or did he give up on that? Oh no, so when Horus Heresy 3 came out, it kind of just like shit the bed for that. That's unfortunate. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, that's about what I thought happened. Okay, fair enough. Kind of curious. I remember being a thing and then not being a thing, and I think I missed a lot of episodes. There we go. Operation Titan again. So, in your opinion, if you don't mind, Cosmic, in your opinion, what did, because I keep hearing that from everybody, what was the big drastic change from Horus Heresy 2.0 to Horus Heresy 3.0? Like, what was this big, like, heart-shattering change? I'm curious. Yeah, that's all right. That's weird, because it seems like that's what Horus Heresy was a lot of old school players. I remember the Horus Heresy, the guys who played it being a little bit older, you know? Alright, let's... paint our officer. Lost entire armies. Ooh, that's rough. I'm sure there's a video on it. I'll have to find a video and watch that. That'll be something good to watch in the background while I'm working. I think I watched. I don't know if someone suggested it to me or if I found it. I think I watched like a really good like 3-part documentary about what happened to War Hordes and War Machine. That was kind of interesting. It's a weird way to do your terrain. I can kind of see why people got a little annoyed. Certainly. But I can also see the allure of Horus Heresy. I mean, like, guys with bolters versus guys with bolters, you know, it's actually pretty cool. think I got just enough time to fix that guy jetpack, and we should be good. Nice productive stream. Chill, as always, most important part. Hey, what's going on, Edgar? How you doing? We were actually just about to wrap up. I put on, so what's changed? Snow bases, red berets, blue coats. I'm just doing this guy's jetpack that I missed. My fun little blue division. Alright, there we go. Touch that up a little bit, we should be good to go. Ooh, for Dark Elves. Flocking for Dark Elves, and you say they're Pirate Corsair themed? I think you can't go wrong with like beach sands, honestly. But I know you said frocking. Yeah, no, I know you're saying frocking unless it's not counting for you, but no, I'd have to keep my thing. Some sand. I think sand will look great. Alright, so that's another color on our Blue Division boys. And like I said, yeah, I what I want to tell you, Matthew, is to do like how I did the IJN guys, but it's so much work. It's not worth it. Where you paint it blue, you paint like part of the base. It's like an actual like half beach, half water. So I paint half the base blue. I put down PVA glue, you know, and then on top of that, I paint that blue to give it like that translucent look. And then I like do little bits of white, like surf into it. It's a lot of work. But if you do the whole base like that, it may or may not be that bad depending on the units you have. It's just gonna gonna be a lot of blue. If you're really looking for just flock, Italian seasoning, go to like a dollar store or something like that and get like one of those big ass giant containers full of Italian seasoning. That'll be good. Yeah, so my Mordheim force I was gonna build when we still had a thing running here locally, but it got shut down. They're all gonna be ship crew, and so I actually had extra wooden plank bases from my Blood and Plunder set that I was gonna use. Oh yeah, my Imperial Japanese my army is lazy. It's just 2 coats of matte green paint, and I just put some fucking grass shrubbery on it, call it a day. Like this nun's the same basing as my Imperial Japanese. Just absolutely bare bones simple. Green and shrubbery. But it works, especially when you have a huge army. But when you're running like 40 or 50 guys, it's nice. As you can tell that you ran into earlier, Matthew, it's cool to have a cool paint scheme, but if it's too complex, it's really just gonna bite you in the ass later. Oh, thanks, Jenny. Yeah, Krieg is just mud, as it should be, of course, you know. As you can tell from these guys, I did snow for them, so you know I mix it up every now and then. For my jeans that are cold, I'm doing what Mordian recommended, and I kind of like the way it looks, and more importantly, it's easy. The Astro Granite, put Astro Granite down, and then put Nolan oil over it. I like it. Very, very quick, fast, urban. But that was the other cool thing we saw, was the idea for Gene Center Colt ambush tokens. So instead of just a regular 32mm thing, we actually had, I'll see if I can grab one. So we got these, for you guys showing us a little bit later, we got these 1/2-inch PVC elbows and 45 degree, and we're going to put these on our ambush markers, and these are going to be like our little industrial vents, you know, the Gene Stealers keep sliding into. So this will actually be the Colt ambush marker for the Gene Stealer Colt, which is kind of cool. Nice. I'm looking forward to playing against her. Hopefully, at December. So that should be fun. All right, guys. It was a fun stream. Interesting. We had a rules discussion. We talked about all sorts of cool stuff. I always talked about modeling ideas. That's always my favorite. I love swapping modeling ideas and doing list reviews. Those are my 2 favorite things. I'm gonna do force kind of stuff, basically for my conflict person. Nice. Yeah, that should work well. Alright, well, for these guys who are going to sleep, I hope you get the sleep you deserve. That's definitely where I'm headed. For these guys going to work, hope it's a great day at work. I hope you don't have a single meeting that could have been an email. And as always, I hope you guys stay safe, stay hydrated, and don't forget to relax today. 'Cause you're on Tiki time.
Shipwrecked soldiers on wooden sand, type today, rifles in hand. Hula gals with summer smiles, no war drums, just beach for miles. Ghost park by Tiki lights, shadows dance in tropic nights. Sand beneath where boots once stood, paradise ain't so misunderstood. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons. Forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands. Bunkers built from palm and hope, coconuts and crude soap. Imperial dreams fade in sun, warriors turn beach bums. Shine through ocean gods we raise, praying for forgotten days. Sake in the campfire glow, life's a surfboard, ebb and flow. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons. Forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands.